Hi everyone, this is Diane. I went to the flea market today and I found some good things, and I'm going to show you the spectacular things I got from Bob at the end. So first I will let you see the non-junk journal things. This one lady, I don't know where she gets all this Tupperware, but it's different every time. And it was $1 a piece. Tupperware is expensive. It's like the actual Tupperware brand. So I picked up these 3 containers, and I've gotten some from her before. And then the other non-junk journal item is this mug. It was 50 cents, and so I had to have it. Hershey Park. Yep. If you've heard my stories about Hershey, you'll understand why it means something to me. The lady that used to do junk journals, and I've gotten junk journal supplies from her, she was having a sale today. I guess she doesn't do the junk journals anymore, but she does jewelry. I don't know what she does with it. Does she make it, or I don't know if she sells it or what, but I heard her saying to somebody that she does jewelry, but they haven't been bringing it because they're trying to get rid of all this other stuff. So they did a $1 day sale. Everything was $1, and some things were 50 cents. So I was looking through these patches to pick out some, and then she said I could have all of them for $2 for all of them. And they're not anything special, but I like to use things like this, unique and unexpected items in really eclectic journals. And I always think of Gina from the Rebookery shop, because she would use things like this. She had up the Game of Life for $1, and I didn't want the board, I just wanted these pieces. So I already threw the box in the trash. So this is the red cards. I don't remember. This is an old Game of Life. I don't remember these red cards. I used to play Life quite a bit with my family growing up, and then my husband and I played it. I do remember the money. And I do have some. That's Art Linkletter. What's he doing in Monopoly in the Game of Life? Yeah, it's Arthur Linkletter, Esquire. That's funny. Anyway, there's a lot of money here, and I might already have some Life money, but I don't have any of those things. And I had forgotten about these, but I remember these from when we played. So this is insurance, auto insurance. They're all kind of folded together, so they're kind of misshapen, but there's life insurance and auto insurance. So I thought that was pretty fun to add that to my stash of game supplies. And I have some of the little cars too. I don't know. I remember getting the cars, and then you would put yourself in it, and then your spouse, and then your children as you went through the game. So I've got all these little pins there, to little pegs. So I thought maybe I could attach them to something and hang them from a dangle. I think there are 2 more cars that were loose in the box, and I just threw them in my bag. So they're probably in the bag somewhere. So I paid $1 for all of that. She had some vintage patterns, and she gave me this for $1 for all 4 of them. I've never seen this high fashion brand sewing pattern, Flared City Pants, 1969. I thought it was pretty cool. There's something sticky here, so I'll have to cover that so it doesn't get stuck on things. Aunt Savage's Salvaged Treasures. Somebody paid $4 for this. Oh, let me see. I want to see what the pattern looks like because I've never seen. Oh, I guess I'm just going to open the top. I wonder if it's tissue paper or paper. Yeah, it's paper. So that could be good pages, big pages to put in a journal because that's a good kind of paper. So that's fun. And then this looks like it's from the 70s. $1970. This one, I thought I could cut him out because this one had something stuck on it. But this boy I could cut out. I could even make a tag with that. That would be fun. It's taped shut. Wow. But that's okay because I just want to cut those pieces out. And this pattern I thought was so adorable. There's another, oh yeah. I was going to say there was another girl pattern, but I already showed you that. Isn't that so sweet? I wish that this, oh, that came off. And again, the same kind of mark, but it's not as bad on her. I might use her anyway. Anyway, 4 patterns for $1. And they were marked $1 each. Then I got this embroidery transfer set, and it came with some floss too. And this came from Aunt Savage's Salvage Treasures for $4 also. But I paid $1. It's the yellow transfers. Can you see it? Yeah, you can see it. So that'll be fun to use. And it has some floss. And the books she charged me 50 cents for. I got those and this. So this is Instant Spelling Dictionary. I just thought this had some interesting looking pages. 1964. That's all it is. 3 columns of words, and it has the accent mark so you know how to pronounce the word. And I just thought they would be fun to use somehow. This book I can hear. Must have been from a school. It says room 74. 1982. But look at these bright and simple illustrations. Just something fun. And I'll put this with my Christmas supplies. I've had this book before. In fact, we had it at our home when I was young, and I would play the piano out of it, and we would sing carols. Oh, there's a couple stickers here. Must be somebody was using it as in their lessons. Just maybe that one song. It's the only one with the markings. Jingle Bells. I just like the illustrations in this book and the pretty colors. Let me see the year on this. I know I had it when, like I said, when I was young. Oh, it's 1962. I think it's 1962. And then she saw me looking at this pile of lunch bags, and she said, just take those. Just throw them in for free. She didn't even want me to give her $1 for them. That's way more than I'll use, but she said, I know you can make something with them, so I took them, and I thanked her. That was all from one vendor. Another lady, she had these little, I don't know what they are. I'm calling them some plastic tokens. This is from Sportsman's Bar, Al's Harvey's Lake, and it says good for 15 cents in trade. So they must be pretty old. Good for 15 cents in trade. Hosey K in Dallas. And there are quite a few here. And this is in there. Quarry Creek Golf Club, Mansfield, Pennsylvania. Just a wooden coin. But there's a bunch of different tokens. If you know anything about these tokens, please let me know. This says good for 50 cents in drinks at Hugo's Silver Grill in South Waverly, Pennsylvania. There is no Hugo's Silver Grill there anymore. I've never heard of it. Okay, so I got all of these for $5, which I thought was pretty good. This pile of books was $5. I think it was $5. No, this one wasn't $5. I don't remember now, but it wasn't much. And I'm all done with my patriotic journals, and I'm not planning on making more, but this was such a good price. It might have been just $1. I just don't remember. So I thought I would get it and put it with the supplies, and I was going to collect patriotic supplies to sell next. I'm just looking at this thinking he's got something sticking in his head, but it's just a feather that's stuck in a headband. I thought he had an arrow in his head or something. Anyway, these are stickers that you would put. There's the Boston Tea Party. And I think that we should be able to get the pages apart without ruining any stickers. It's just the very top that's stuck. There's Betsy Ross. That's really cool. American Revolution sticker book by Whitman. Trying to get to where it might have a date. I wonder if it is from 1976, from our bicentennial year. I don't know. Oh, here. 1975. And then this, Flags of the American Revolution to color. These would be fun in a junk journal. And historic costume painting book. Well, this doesn't have to be in a patriotic journal. That's cool. I like that. America's Historic Flags, a push out and paste without paste book. Okay. That's a nice page right there. There's perforations here and here, but not here. So it's got 1-2 pieces if you push them apart, as it says. And then these are all separate. And then you stick them on here. So this would be a fun book to use in a patriotic journal. And then full color bicentennial needlepoint designs. Oh, how beautiful. Oh, those are nice. So let me tell you real quick. I want to ask you, because I found these, and because I found these, look at all that. And I didn't remember that I had these when I did my patriotic books. I could kick myself for not including that in mine. And then these fireworks papers and stars. Those stars are not double-sided, but this is. It's just blue on the back. But because I found all this stuff after I finished my journals, and I was already collecting items. I'm not going to show you all of this stuff, but I got these at the flea market recently after I finished my patriotic journals, these little vintage pins. So I'm wondering if you would like me, do you think that people would buy a patriotic kit at this time of year? I mean, it is still summer, but the 4th of July is past. Put these in here. So I don't want to keep these things hanging around for a whole year in my room, but I mean, all I have to do is try, right? And if nobody buys it, I could save it for next year. So just tell me what you think. Let's move on. I got this one book from one vendor because I had this book before and I loved it. I love the colors in it. Isn't it just so pretty? The pastel colors. So you might want to put this on your Bolo book list. Be on the lookout. This is in really good shape too. And it's pretty old. Probably from the 60s or 50s. Let me see. 1963. Yep, that's a cool book. And I paid 50 cents each for these. Just some black and white pictures, no script or no text or anything. Black and white pictures of the Wizard of Oz. They should have some in Technicolor, right? So, I don't understand. Oh, these are deleted scenes. But then it says at the back, there's no writing on it, just numbers. And it says, here are the answers. How many correct ones did you get? Must be you're supposed to talk about what the deleted scenes were about. And then this, I'll just use this to cut up for glue books. So here's a funny story. My friend Lisa, her husband Tracy, has a big spread at the flea market, and I hardly ever find anything there for me, but I picked this up off his table. He said, you can have that for free. So I put it in my bag. I had already taken bags back to my car, so that was the only thing in my bag. And then I went around for the rest, bought some more stuff, and apparently left that bag with this magazine in it. And I remembered when I got back to my car that I did not have this magazine, and I didn't pay anything for it, but I didn't remember if I'd put anything else in the bag, you know? So I went back and I was walking around and trying to find the bag, and I never found it. And I couldn't remember anything else that would have been in it. So I thought, I think it's just the free magazine, and I'm going to lose, you know, one of those shopper's bags. No big deal. Well, this magazine was at the White Van Man's place. And so I bought it. I didn't say anything to him, and he only wanted 50 cents for it. So I bought it. But I think I left it at his place. I left my bag there, and at the end of his day or whatever, he found the bag with this magazine in it, so he put it out. So I ended up getting it anyway, and I helped him get 50 cents. All right. So then I got some fabrics, and I am destashing fabrics, but so I carefully look at them. Doesn't mean I'll never buy fabrics again, but I had to have this one, and it was $1 for this bag. This lady sells her fabrics really cheap. So what I think she does is she's selling her mother's stash of stuff. So there are 3 pieces here of this. I think it's a bark cloth, but definitely 70s with that coloring. So that could be fun. I won't keep all of it for sure. But this, I love this. Very retro, modern. It's probably from the 70s also. Or maybe 60s, but it's piqué. I think it's a piqué. It's a sturdy fabric, and it's got a texture to it. And I love it. So I'm not going to sell any of this, but I will sell some of that harvest coloring stuff. And then I got this bag, which was also $1. And this is okay. I don't mind that. It definitely looks vintage, but the yellow gingham, you know, I have a hard time finding yellow fabrics. So I got that. That's a pretty big piece of this. And there's a nice big piece of this, so I'm glad to have that. You know, I like gingham. So yeah, there's a big piece of that. And then this is just a narrow piece. It's a white on white stripe, which I might be able to use. And lastly, I got this for $1. And at first I thought, I don't need this. But there are certain journals that I like to use a quilted fabric for. So, and I love these colors. And it's poppies. And it was $1. So I'll probably put some of that in my shop. And I think that's everything except for Bob's. So let's move on to Bob's items. And I'm saving the really, really good ones for last. Well, everything is really good, but I got some good deals. I'm not going to talk about prices with this stuff. But I got this pouch full of receipts, old receipts. This is 1903. Brattleboro Bakery. These almost look like copies, but I don't think they are. They smell like this plastic. I'm throwing this away. It gave them a bad smell. I don't know. It says Walton's Press, Montpelier, Vermont. So maybe Walton's Press made a copy. But it says 1809. Yeah, they must be copies. But this is genuine. 1901. So, but it's still a vintage piece. The copy is vintage. Colorado and Southern Railway. 1935. This is a torn one. 1872. That's definitely genuine. It has a notary stamp on it. New Bedford and Taunton Branch Railway. Taking them all out of the plastic. Pennsylvania and Western Railroad. Okay, sorry, I had to stop the video for a moment, but that whole bag was full of these old receipts. That's definitely a copy. Okay, there's some really cool receipts in there. So the calendars that he had this time were basically just a big picture and then the tiny calendar, that's the part I want. So I don't need this part. And let's see, what other calendars did I get today? This one, which is really old, 1914. This one is 36. That's on sturdy piece. Table of postage rates on 4th class mail, effective January 1st, 1914. Wow, to mail 1 pound, it's 5 cents. And this calendar, this is a cute picture. I'll keep that and use it. 1918. I guess that's all the calendars. I just picked up some random papers. Open the doors and you have all of the sweetness and comfort, all of the cheer and restfulness that have for centuries been associated with the open fireside. That's really cool. And it's in excellent condition. 1927. Oh, I thought this was fun. Cartridge movie program. 600 film stamps. So I'm not sure what you do with these. Each of these stamps is redeemable for 1 roll of Super 8 color movie film. Fresh film is returned with each roll of processed film. So I just like the color of these stamps, and there are pages and pages of them. So I'll just make ephemera with them. This is Joyful Singing, property of Susquehanna Valley Grange, number 1417, Otsego. I wonder if it's supposed to be Otsego, New York. I don't have a date here, but it's got the blueprint, which is pretty fun. And it's just nice to take, remove these so that they're a folio page, like a 2-page spread, Waltzing Matilda, and just put one in a pocket. So I like those little books. I have a couple already. This is for Hofbrau. That's what the HB stands for. And I just thought it was a fun piece of ephemera. She is broken. But, I mean, she hasn't broken completely, but I will probably put some vintage cellophane tape on that. Just a little kind of a decal that you would put on your car window or on your camper to let people know where you have traveled. So this is Cape Cod, Provincetown, Massachusetts. There is a Easter postcard, antique, 1910. Instructions on using a projection screen. Radiant projection screen operating instructions. I thought that was fun. My dad, we had a projection screen that we showed. First, we showed slides on it. Occasionally, we would beg Dad to get that out and show us some slides. And then he had an 8mm camera eventually, and so we had little movies. These are old prescriptions. There's not even a date on it. And these aren't even written on prescription forms. (1916) RX for acidic nitrohydrochloric something. Doesn't finish it. Pepsin, take a tablespoon. It's just written on a piece of paper. This is at least it says RX on it. It doesn't have any printing on it. It has some printing on the back, very pale. It's interesting. It's just written on a scrap of paper. These are cards for a Collie Club. First specialty show, Collie Club. I thought they were fun cards. And some Morton Salt little pamphlets. 1/3 of our weather is rainy. 100 ways to predict rain. Compliments of Morton's Salt, whose slogan is, when it rains, it pours. In other words, rainy weather doesn't make the salt solidify in your Morton Salt container. So these are some ways you can tell when it's going to rain. When cats sneeze, lie with their heads on the floor, or wipe themselves behind the ears, rain is in the offing. That's just one of 100. There's 100 different things. And I got, I don't know, about 6 of those. Fine clothes for Puritan clothing stores. And it's a little needle book. I like this little 70s. I think it's for a camera. Kodak Instamatic S10 camera. I think we had a Kodak Instamatic camera, and we had a Polaroid camera too. I remember the flash cubes. And I just thought it was a really cute piece of ephemera. There is a decal. I think it's just one. 1981. And I got a pile of report cards. So some of these will be going in my shop. There's quite a few here. I can't really tell what that number is. This one is 32. 37. So all the ones I've looked at are in the 30s. Quite a few there. I'll put some in my shop. Did I already say that? Motor vehicle registration for a Ford sedan. $1937. This is a ink blotter. Advertising and insurance agent. And then he brought these over to me. He said, are you using these? Because this is the last of them that I could find. He has noticed that I've been buying whatever I find of these. And he had them in different colors. I got orange ones before and some other colors, but these are all the purple ones. And I said, yes, 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 I love these. So I'll be using those a lot in my journals now that I have a lot. This is another calendar, but it's a handmade one. So it's this tiny little calendar, 1917, on construction paper with this decorative piece glued on. This is just an envelope from the White House, 1969. And this is a promissory note from 1944. And a cute little advertising thing from the Utica Gas and Electric Company. Chapter 2, Enter Kilowatt, a serial story of Mr. Kilowatt, the thrilling tale of the wonders of a wonder worker told in monthly installments by Kilowatt himself. Please, P.S., don't miss a single chapter. That's fun. There's a stub of a ticket. Dance ticket. Lady, 50 cents. No date. I wish there was a date. Some coats of arms of the world, 20th century. It's got a tissue behind it so they don't stick to things. That one just has 4. Entered according to the Act of Congress in the year 1914. And then this is a large page. Are they stuck together? No. There's tissue between them, but I think the edges are stuck together. Yeah, so I'll have to take them apart. But they're pretty cool. They're not like thin stamp paper. I don't know. They're kind of a sturdy paper. They're pretty neat. And I think, oh, there's another calendar. I thought I had more calendars. So this one is Pages, 1947. Front and back pages. A Fashion News Butterick newspaper supplement, probably, 1935. Or maybe it was just a store flyer. Dunham's. And then, before we get to the last 2 items that are special, I mean, everything here is special, right? This is school posters, and I thought it was like folded up posters that would be hanging in a classroom, but when I looked at it, it's published by the School Arts magazine. So I think it might be about how to create art for school classrooms. I am not really sure, but they're these pages, this size. School posters. Poster history. So it's lesson 1. And lesson 2, composition. Lesson 3, black silhouette, etc. White silhouette. And lesson 8. So these brown pages are the lessons. It's showing examples of a track meet poster, a football game, a game today poster, some help lessons, good English, and it looks like 16 posters, or 16 lessons. And then these are examples of school posters. A page of cutout posters made by grade children of public schools. The lower posters are a combination of cutout letters and magazine illustrations. So they cut out magazine illustrations and then made the letters. Glued them on. That's pretty cool. Ithaca, New York schools. Children in those schools made these. That's neat. And this is copyrighted 1924. Very interesting. I've never seen anything like this. In this cool orange folder. Okay, so he brought over these fun, beautiful labels. I don't know what the labels go on, but that's what they are. They're so pretty. And I said, yes, I would like them. And we added them to my pile of stuff. And then he totaled up my stuff and told me how much he wanted for what I just showed you here. And then he said, but if you want the rest of these, I'll add this much to it and make it this much. And I said, and then he pulled this bag out and showed this to me. I said, what? All of these are those labels. And I said, yes, please. And I don't know how many are here, but there's a lot. So these will be going in my shop in bundles when I get a chance to list them. I'm not going to wait too long to list them. I'm not going to take orders for them. I'm not going to do any special listings. I'm just going to, there will be plenty in the shop because there's a lot here. So I'm pretty excited to share these with you. And then after we added that, he asked me if I had seen the baking powder, Arm & Hammer baking powder pile of things. And I said, no. So they were on the table and I just overlooked them. So what they are, I'll just get out one full envelope. Well, I don't know if that's a full one. They're in these envelopes, but the flap is stuck to the booklet. So I'm going to have to use my air dryer or something and try to get that glue to release. But even if I can't get the glue to release, I can just, trim around, leave that flap right on it. But there are booklets. Each envelope comes with a booklet, Good Things to Eat, with this beautiful illustration, made with Arm & Hammer baking soda. And this is 1925. And it's got recipes. And then it comes with another booklet, A Friend in Need, Facts Worth Knowing About Arm & Hammer Baking Soda as a Proven Medicinal Agent. So how you can use it for different, as a remedy for different things, which is really cool. And then it has these little pamphlets. For colds and influenza, Arm & Hammer Baking Soda is pure bicarbonate of soda. And there's something that a doctor wrote about it. And cleansing helps for the housewife, ways you can use it for doing your household chores. Helpful hints to motorists. It's the same housewife one. So that might be all of this is all in one envelope. Some of the items were out of the envelopes. So this is another whole envelope. This one, some of the things came out of it. So they're kind of mixed up, and there might be some pieces missing if I tried to fill all the envelopes again, which I won't. But so let's see, 1, 2, 3. There's a couple of these little bird cigarette cards mixed in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, And then all these loose things. So 10 full envelopes plus these. Some of these would probably make up another, maybe another 3 or 4 full envelopes, but I've got all these little booklets. So some of these items will go in my shop too. I have to get them all sorted. Let's see what the extra stuff is. So then he, I asked him how much he wanted for this whole pile, and he gave me a number. And we added that to what I owed him. It's a little antique Christmas card. And these 2 bird cigarette cards. Looks like aquatic birds, ducks, something like that. So that's what I got today. I have to say my very favorite item is this. But I got a lot of good things today. And this, they go together. They're my favorites. Thank you, Bob. If you're watching, thank you for showing these to me and letting me get them at a good price. I appreciate it. So tell me what your favorite is, and I'll be back with another video, and I hope you're having a creative day. Bye.